Well, as one of the older guys, one of the veterans, how much do you kind of impress on these young guys that these are really important weeks?
It's a long season, so, you try to instill to the young guys, that we need everybody, at their healthiest, the healthiest they can be, coming into the home stretch of the season, try to tell them, all that going out and, doing all these things on our bye week, is not necessary. Get away from here, go with your families and take the time to relax and heal.
How tough is it during the season when you're working on game plans, all those things, to kind of go back and spend a lot of time on like fundamentals, things that you get a chance to do this week?
It's real tough, when you get into the season, all those things kind of go out the door. You don't forget to backpedal, and read the quarterback, things like that. But as far as key steps and hinging when we're supposed to hinge, things like that, it's real important. And I think it's a good thing for us, to go back over them because it gives us a chance to sharpen up our technique. Which we're going to need going into this weekend against Georgia.
You have a high school teammate on the Georgia team.
Yeah.
How is that rivalry? When you get to this time of season.
He's already talking junk. I don't do much trash talking, not over text messages, anyways. But when you get on the field and I see him face to face, we'll go at it. We'll get a chance to go against each other on special teams. So it'll be fun.
You're one of I look them up, like 7 guys that has a high school teammate on the Georgia team. Do you Auburn guys talk about that at all, or does it make this rivalry any more special because of that?
Oh, we kind of brought it up today, it's not a real big deal, but of course we want the bragging rights when it's all said and done, against those guys. So it kind of puts an extra chip on our shoulder.
Switching gears, just kind of talk about Evan Thomason and the impact that he's had with this team.
Oh man, I think it'll be everlasting. Anybody who's came across him or just knows about him, has something on their heart, for him and his family. We never take a prayer meeting or pledge meeting without, praying for his family. Or going out on the field and not mentioning him. He's had a big impact on his team. As far as long as any guys are here that interacted with him, I think it always have, a big factor on them.
What do you think it meant to him to know that out of all the things he could have done in his life, what was left of it, he chose to meet you guys and go to a game? How do you think that made him feel?
Just looking at him, from the time first time we seen him to about 45 minutes later, he was always smiling. Even when he couldn't keep his eyes open, he was always smiling. We knew it meant a lot to him, but he touched us in a way, that I don't think anybody's ever touched me in a way that he has. Just for him to lay there and smile and just keep his eyes open with his hands, it brought tears to my eyes. It was breathtaking.
Now I heard that when y'all were down against Mississippi State, or it's coming down to, I think, the fourth quarter, I heard that you had said something, hey, let's do this to Evan. Is that true?
Right. I know a lot of guys, when we seen him and we took that, a lot of guys took it hard, took it to heart. And I definitely wanted, for him to come see us, I definitely wanted, to really win that game for him. And I'm glad we did.
T-Bell, what do you tell these young guys about the intensity of these games coming up, these rivalry games coming up? Guys that haven't been in them before.
You tell them this. I like to call them club rockers. I tell them it's gonna be a club rocker. When it's real loud, when you're in the club, and then everybody's pushing around and getting physical in the club. That's the kind of thing I kind of explain to them. I feel like it kind of correlates. They can better understand it. So tell them to get their mind right when going to this game. And of course, we gotta stop doing the little things to affect us. That's been happening. The penalties on the road.
How was practice tonight after a 3-day layoff?
Practice is good, For me, I had fresh legs. I was flying around. I think a lot of guys, was excited to get back out there and practice. We had a three-day split. We were kind of excited to get back out there. I think we had a very productive practice.
Guys, all the time hear about an Iron Bowl. When you're being recruited, you hear about the Iron Bowl. What have you learned about this rivalry, the Auburn-Georgia, since you've been here?
It's either Auburn or Alabama. I can't say it no other way. It's a nasty, physical game. It's personal. It really is personal. And you come here, me being a Florida guy, I'm thinking, Florida, I want to be Florida, but, Bama is #1 for me. It's something I inherited, and it's the same way for those guys. They don't like us, we don't like them, but there's much respect between the two, and we want to play a clean game when the time comes. But right now, we're just focusing on Georgia.
All right, that's why I was talking about Georgia. You misunderstood.
Talking about
No,
Bama, I'm like,
no.
hey.
That was a good answer, though. We'll save that one for down the road. But the Georgia rivalry, I mean, it's one that you don't hear as much about. But now that when you get here and have gone through it a couple of times, talk about the rivalry with Georgia.
It's gonna be. I think this game kind of tests your manhood, because those guys, they play to the whistle, maybe a couple seconds after the whistle. They get after you. They want to make it a point like, we're Georgia and we're here. Like, what are you gonna do about it? That's the feel I got from them last year. Like they were down in the end of the game and they were still playing hard. That's the kind of thing I took from it. So this game is definitely a more physical game than probably any other game we played this season.